Hey, what's up, team? Tickety here, taking a look at the new release date reveal trailer that Overwatch 2 just put out. This was debuted weirdly during the Bethesda Games Awards showcase. And yeah, we're gonna take a look at the video and we're gonna see what there is to react to, see what's new. Obviously, there's some pretty exciting stuff in here, so let's jump right into it. I've already seen this live during the stream. Absolutely caught me off guard. I was like, I had my headphones off, it was on my second monitor, and I looked up, I was like, hey, Overwatch is playing. I was like, wait, what am I watching?
You're one of those heroes, aren't you?
One of those heroes.
Before me, I see the future. Human. Machine.
You know there's more out there, don't you?
Even the best journeys end. But a new one is right around the corner.
A new era.
I am your queen!
Alright, so here's our first look at the new hotness, the Junker Queen. Hero 34. Definitely no correlation for that number anywhere else. So we're already seeing, so this is going to be one of her highlight intros. We're already seeing part of her kit kind of teased here. Hi, Archer, welcome. Let's put you down. We're already seeing part of her hit kind of teased here with the axe in her hand. So obviously she's got her primary fire and her shotgun, like not every, but most heroes have some sort of gun.
I am your
But if you guys haven't noticed, most heroes in Overwatch highlight parts of their kit as part of their highlight intros whenever they get like play of the game. This is what shows up. So highlighting one of her core abilities seems to be this axe that can stick into people and then likely pull them towards you while like kind of like Thor's hammer, kind of retracting the axe, functioning maybe similar to a Roadhog hook? Question mark? That's pretty hype.
queen!
Just obliterating an Omnic with a shotgun. I'm guessing that's her primary fire, and now we're seeing a little bit of her perhaps secondary fire or other parts of her kit, maybe an ability based around this.
Let's take him.
So either that's her melee or that's an ability where she swings the axe. I'm leaning into that it's her melee, but you can use it by maybe using right click. It's odd to me that it's got such a big wind-up time and that it only swings once. That's what makes me think it's an ability. But it could also be her like switching weapons, kind of like how Mercy can switch between her staff and her pistol. That could be a functionality here. It's hard to say. It's too early to say from this alone.
Let's take him to the wasteland.
That's clearly an ability. Seemingly functions a little bit like a combination of Orissa's Javelin Spin and Reinhardt's Pin. It doesn't hit anyone directly, so we can't see if this does damage.
Let's take him to the wasteland.
That might honestly even be an ultimate there. Yeah, based on the wind-up time that she pulls up, that seems like... And, of course, the voice line, let's take him to the wasteland. All ultimates in the game are associated with a voice line, both a friendly and an enemy one. So that looks like, based on the wind-up time, the long animation, that's likely something that would maybe group opponents up if you were to pin multiple in them, like if multiple people could be sucked into Reinhardt's charge, and then maybe does a burst amount of damage as the end of it, towards the end of the animation. It's hard to tell. Again, this is very early footage. This is our very first look at her. It's hard to tell. This is pure speculation, but it looks like her ultimate ability, and it looks like some sort of initiator. Kind of looks like a stronger version of Orissa's, what's it called? What's Orissa's? Terra Surge. It kind of looks like a stronger version of Orissa's Terra Surge in that she's able to not only group enemies up and do a bunch of damage to them, but she initiates with a gap closer dashing through. I'm guessing she'll get some sort of damage reduction. I'm guessing this will do some sort of mild CC. Either that's in just like knocking people around like bowling pins, like maybe Wrecking Ball does, or whether that's by grouping them up as if they all got hit by a Reinhardt charge. I think those would be cool mechanics, and it looks to be some sort of strong initiation type ultimate. It could also be some sort of buff to your teammates, like maybe it creates a speed boost for allies walking forward, maybe it creates some sort of like rally armor field, or overhealth field now. And now we're getting the release date, quote-unquote release date. We're also getting some looks at, oh, by the way, we're getting some looks at some updated skins here. Here's Doomfist in Overwatch 2. He's got his little Sherpa cowl going on and some more like, sort of like African aesthetic, it looks like. With like his belt and his just everything going around his neck and stuff like that. So that looks cool. The braids around his arm as well. Our first look at Doomfist in Overwatch 2. And then we get to see, of course, everyone's favorite. There was a little glimpse of Roadhog there too. Let's see if we can pause on that frame.
One punch is all I need.
A little glimpse at Roadhog here in Overwatch 2, and a little bit of Old Soldier, but we've already seen him. You can see Roadhog's sort of mohawk peeking through his gas mask there. And just like updated designs overall. Is this a new map as well? What map are we on here? This almost looks like a cross between Midtown and somewhere else, but I can't place it. So this might be hinting at a new map, yeah? I'm not sure exactly where would this be. I can't think of any of the maps they've teased before that this would fit into. Oh, okay, Rio de Janeiro, yeah. This looks like our first look at in-game footage on Rio de Janeiro. This looks like our first look at some in-game footage on Rio de Janeiro as well. Ever since the very original reveal where we had the opportunity to play PvE missions at BlizzCon Line and things like that. Not BlizzCon Line, at BlizzCon 2019. So that's interesting. We have everyone's favorite Omnic with a hat, and he keeps the hat. The hat flips around backwards gamer style whenever he goes into turret form. That's an important update that no one knew about. A little bit of updated Sigma, it looks like. He's got a little, like, helmet on. Orisa, of course. Free to play being announced officially. A lot of people were guessing this would happen. A little bit of updated Diva here. Let's go back a few frames. The new Diva mech here looking pretty cool. It's a lot more pink and white. Here, we're getting a look at some of the first look of what seems to be a weapon inspect button in Overwatch 2. This isn't something that has that exists in Overwatch 1. And there's a couple things to note here. One, this might imply that we're getting some kind of weapon skins in Overwatch 2, something similar to Counter-Strike or in Valorant, where you can equip different skins along with just the character skin. There's also, I'm just noticing now, what seems to be a little gun buddy here. Obviously, Cassidy doesn't have many ties to the Shimada Bros, but we see him here with a little bit of a chain here with the Dragon Strike icon from Hanzo's ultimate. So maybe there's also going to be gun buddies you can put on your gun, very similar to Valorant as well. Maybe a one-button weapon switch out. Who knows? There seems to be some sort of weapon customization coming forward. Just the fact that you can inspect your weapons like this. So that's cool. Some new skins here. It looks like a skin line for maybe Summer Games. They all have their nationality on them. Maybe this is just like part of the PvE mission where they're going to the Arctic apparently. So maybe there's going to be themed skins for different regions of the maps for different actual Overwatch missions that we're going to see in future PvE releases. Our first look at the Fox Girl. There's very little shown about this, but we have had leaks like a long time ago that came out. I don't remember the details of the leaks, but there were leaks a long time ago that teased a Fox-based character that had ties to the Shimada Bros, and as we see her now on the Kanezaka deathmatch map, seems to imply, and as well with all the obviously Japanese architecture as part of her kit, it seems here, seems to be part of her design. I'm assuming a her for some reason. Seems to be part of their design, so that's interesting. This looks to be some sort of in-game ability. I would have to guess that this character, this is very early speculation, but if I were guessing based on this footage alone, they appear to be a support character, and this appears to be some sort of ability where they would move quickly through a map and maybe leave behind a trail that gives speed boost to allies running through it. Still, again, very early speculation, but could be something there. We're also seeing a bit more of a hint here. Let me just go back to that. So this is actually a bit of a hint. So we see the Fox running forward. We see the teammates chasing them. And you guys ready to do some detective work? We're literally going frame by frame. This is a little bit too slow. Okay, we see a Zarya. Let's look at the heroes. We see, I think that's Hanzo on the left there. I think that's Ana directly in front of us. And we see a Genji. So that's 2 DPS, 1 tank, and 1 support. What would be missing from that team composition if not another support, which it would imply that this character is a support. Support means rejoice. Coming into Overwatch 2, not sure when we're actually going to get to see them or get to play them, but seems like an interesting take here. Very, like, how many frames is this actually on screen? It's a very short amount of time we actually get to see this, but implies that this is going to be a support character. And like I said, that seems to be some sort of ability. Again, Another thing that sort of teases that, I forgot to mention it. Let me just go back. You know how when Lucio has a speed aura on, everyone gets the green boots like this? There's no other ability in the game that puts that effect onto characters, and there's no other speed boosting abilities in the game outside of like self speed boost and stuff like when you have rally. So these characters appear to be getting speed boost with no Lucio on the roster, with this unrevealed support leading the way. So who knows? Could be a speed boost entering the game. Again, I think something that creates a trail of speed boost for faster rotations is a really cool way that maybe it's like a lingering field that not only speeds allies but slows enemies. Maybe that makes it easier to like kite away from threats. Maybe it's easier to engage, and then if you get through an enemy team, make it harder for them to kite away. Lots of cool mechanics that could be teased here, but we know next to nothing, unfortunately. Moving on, we see some more skins. Look at Anna's gun, everyone's favorite support. Everyone's favorite one-eyed sniper support, I should say. This gun looks sick. It's still relatively basic looking, but it's cool to see a little redesign on it as well. It's kind of blockier, kind of grittier looking.
It takes a team to tango.
Then just see some Overwatch goodness going around. Zen's keeping his snap kit. Diva with a ponytail. I'm sure everyone's going to have fun with that one. All these new intros. The Hammond one is goated for sure. Junker Queen again, showing what appears to be her ultimate during this. It's spinning her axe around and charging forward. This has to do damage in some capacity, and I'm guessing some sort of either knockback or grouping up part of CC that's tied to this ability. Anything new on this screen? I don't think so. Everyone looks... I guess a little bit of Pharah's new design here. See the white accents? I think that's new. And obviously a good splash of Junker Queen coming in here. So the axe is definitely going to be a big part of her kit, along with her shotgun on her primary fire. I could have that completely backwards, where the axe is the primary fire and you switch into the shotgun as an ability as well. That could be the case. But we'll have to wait and see. Early access begins October 4th. So that's a bit deceptive sounding, because we're kind of already in early access. We've already been playing the beta. So when it says early access begins, I'm guessing this is going to be the last phase of the beta. Hopefully we're going to have more betas leading up to October 4th. I do not want to wait until October 4th to play this game, to play Junker Queen, and stuff like that. So hopefully we're going to see more access to the beta leading up to October 4th, but I'm guessing what's going to happen is when this date comes around, we're going to have full open access to what is now considered to be the beta, or what will then be considered early access, until the full release of the game comes out, which will likely be tied to the full release of PvE, which who knows when that's coming. So at the very least for PvP, seems like we're going to have unrestricted access to early access of the game, but what seems to be a full release and fully balanced version of PvP on October 4th. Until then, I'm hoping, but we have yet to get confirmation about, that we will have multiple ongoing betas, maybe even just an open beta, that'd be nice, leading up to that date, with more and more reveals coming up to that point. I'm guessing if they have a hard set date for October 4th, they have a lot of stuff they want to announce both on that date and leading up to that date. And I think that's the end of the trailer. There's a sword holster on her leg. Sword holster on her leg. Is that in that? Right here? I'm guessing that's kind of like Genji's like little knife behind his back that works for his quick melee. Like this is her main melee ability, but this is maybe her actual quick melee, and this is an ability. So maybe, if anything, it could also just be aesthetic. There's tons of stuff that seems like it should be a thing in the game, but is this aesthetic? But maybe this shows that this is going to be part of her quick melee, and this is actually going to be an ability. Maybe that's more hints towards that. And then we get a little cutscene of Zen meditating. This is also like updated Zen, but they haven't really changed Zen much. Not much there to see. Alright, so that's the trailer. That, again, like that randomly came up during the Bethesda showcase, so that's pretty hype. Moira's going great. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Are we sleeping on the Pharah and Moira? I noted the Pharah. The Pharah looks cool with the white accents. Moira kind of looks the same. This looks like it's her contender skin, to be honest. But yeah, she is graying a little bit, and she's got like the white on her face. Oh, I just noticed her arm, too. She's got like Illidan arms. That's something. But I mean, I don't know. It's Moira, dude. Pharah looks really good though, I think. Pharah looks like an actual Gundam. And then yeah, little touches on everyone here. But there's still some more fun stuff to look at. So that was the trailer. We got a lot about Junker Queen. We got the teasing for the Fox that we know next to nothing about so far, other than they're probably support. They probably have speed as part of their kit, similar to Lucio. We got all that stuff about the Junker Queen to speculate on. And we got some tweets to look at. So first of all, looking at the tweet about that announced this trailer, Overwatch confirming Overwatch 2 arrives on October 4th. Overwatch 2 arrives on October 4th. This includes free-to-play live service. This includes new heroes, maps, and modes. And it confirms that Junker Queen, they've been changing this, by the way. Sometimes there's a space and the Q is capitalized. Sometimes it's all one word. So I don't know which one's real yet. Maybe that's just like a working title, kind of like Hammond or like Wrecking Ball. And maybe she's going to have a real name in game or something like that. But they do confirm that she is a tank. She's going to be filling the tank role. And we are going to learn even more than this trailer reveals on the actual Blizzard announcement date, June 16th. So we'll definitely be reacting to that as well and taking a look at what happens on that date. There's also been some leaks online that we might be having more information come early on the 14th in 2 days' time. So 12th, 14th, 16th were leaked dates that came out a while ago. I don't have the thread pulled up, but could show some interesting stuff. Maybe more info about the Fox, maybe more in-depth look at Junker Queen, not sure. Maybe some look at Rio de Janeiro as a map. That would be pretty cool. But two things interesting about this. Number one, right here, new heroes, maps, and modes. We've already confirmed new heroes. There's already been Junker Queen, obviously. There's obviously the Fox that they're teasing. And of course, Sojourn is still considered a new hero for Overwatch 2. New maps, I mean, push map alone, there's already 2 maps. There's also the Circuit Royale, there's also Midtown, all these new maps. We've already confirmed new maps, but there's likely going to be more revealed. But this one, modes plural, is something that I think is purely new confirmed information that there's going to be more than push maps as a new mode coming to Overwatch 2. A lot of people have been speculating about this 5th game mode that hasn't been confirmed, I don't think, but was potentially leaked a while ago. I don't remember why people were speculating about this originally, but people have been speculating that there is more than just push as a competitive game mode. This could be anything casual like arcade modes. That's a good point. It could be arcade modes. It could be like different forms of quick play modes, or it could be even like a mild form of PvE, although I doubt that. But in my headcanon right now, this is hopium for sure that this is going to be a new PvP competitive game mode that's also going to be incorporated into the Overwatch League. So we're hopefully in a 5-map series going to be able to play 5 completely different map types, not just maps, which could be really cool. I have no idea what that mode might be, but the fact that this is plural makes me think that there is something in the works beyond just push as a new competitive map type, or beyond just push as a new competitive game mode, and maybe something more interesting, more fresh coming into that as well. But in addition to that, in the comments here, I did a little bit more detective work. We have a reply from the NY Excelsior with a screenshot of Junker Queen rocking the New York colors. And this looks awesome. This is probably going to be one of the better looking team skins for this character. But this, maybe not to their social media manager's knowledge, kind of reveals a few things. This reveals that bare minimum, at the very least, teams have art assets for these characters. So when teams are designing skins and applying colors for skins in-game in the Overwatch League, they often work with the teams themselves to send art assets back and forth to confirm whether or not this meets like their brand standards or whatever when they're working with the Overwatch art team. This confirms that this has been going back and forth with at least New York and the Overwatch devs, but presumably between the Overwatch art team and all of the teams. But beyond that, and I don't think this is too far of a reach, I think this confirms that Junker Queen is going to be in the next stage of the Overwatch League. I think this screenshot looks like it was taken out of in-game when you're in-game looking through like your character skins. Like this is her holding a victory pose, and this is her with the skin equipped in-game. And if that's the case, if Junker Queen is available on some sort of behind-the-scenes behind the scenes PTR realm that the pros and teams have access to right now, and would therefore be able to take something like this. Would this character be enabled early so that pro players can practice on her, and then will be enabled when the Overwatch League returns on the 16th? That would be hype. It seems like a short amount of time to turn around with such a big change, like adding a new character, but hey, they did it with Sojourn. Not that Sojourn made a big splash in the meta or anything, but they did it with Overwatch 2 in general. It was a relatively quick turnaround time. They've had shorter turnaround times for balance patches and new heroes and stuff like that before. It would not surprise me, and I think this tweet almost kind of shows that they have access to her in some capacity behind the scenes. Pro teams do, and maybe we're going to get to see her on stage coming in the Overwatch League. That would be hype for sure. In addition to that, Overwatch tweeted here, as a thank you to our original players, i.e. the Overwatch 1 player base, the Overwatch 2 Founders Pack will be free in-game to all existing players who own Overwatch 1. So this is cool. It's just a little icon you can equip. It's 2 epic skins. We see them here, the Doomfist and the Sombra. The Sombra one looks absolutely hilarious. I cannot wait to troll kids with this skin on in-game. And all you have to do to be eligible is just log into the Overwatch client before June 23rd. So you've got about 2 weeks before this runs out. They put out a little article that sort of details this. There's not much new information here, just that we're going to be hearing more on June 16th and stuff like that. They talk a little bit about their free-to-play model going forward, but no real concrete information. Important thing is, if you want these skins, if you want the Founders Pack guaranteed to be tied to your Overwatch 2 account, now that's going free-to-play, make sure you log in, ensure that your account is active and all that kind of stuff, and then you'll be good to go. But yeah, that is what we learned today. That was the trailer. That was a couple tweets, some wild speculation, maybe some tinfoil hat theories. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Am I completely off with my speculation? Are you guys as hyped to play Junker Queen as I am? Let me know in the comments below. And we'll be sure to check back in on the 16th to see what else we can learn. Until then, I've been Tickety. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out.